You're watching Alabama's WVUA News at 6.
I'm Janie Wallace.
And I'm Philip Coleman. Tonight on WVUA News at 6, we look at the changes 9/11 brought to West Alabama and how people responded to the attacks.
Plus, find out how Governor Bentley is asking Alabamians to remember 9/11. But first, remembering 9/11 and how the nation was changed forever. We're glad that you are with us. Lynn Brooks is off tonight. Sunday marks 10 years since the September 11th terror attacks, and the country is already pausing to remember that day.
Military men and women have been fighting the war on terror for 10 years. Veterans from West Alabama share their thoughts tonight on 9/11 and what it has meant to them. WVUA's Lindsay Price has their story.
You know, I knew that day that things had changed.
I think every Marine that watched 9/11 at the time knew that we were going to get orders shortly to go find who did it and seek revenge.
I had a lot of family members who have been in.
Christopher Jones says military members automatically have a sense to serve their country in times of need.
When something like that happened to the country, everybody wanted to do something. And, you know, getting asked to go up and to serve on active duty in the military, it was an honor to
school teachers, and they send you to Paris Island.
What was it, 3 days? Happened that day remind him of the purpose of the war.
Every time I see the video of the towers, it just renews my resolve to remember why we're fighting and what we're doing in Afghanistan and Iraq.
Even though it's been 10 years, Jones and Leach say the war goes on, and it's important to show support for the military.
Definitely, you know, people remember around 9/11, you know, all the service members around the world that are deployed right now. But here in Tuscaloosa and Alabama in general, you know, we're lucky to have a great, you know, population that's very supportive of the military.
I can tell you, since 9/11, you know, everybody has really been supportive, and people come up to you all the time when they see you in your uniform and just say, thank you, we appreciate what you're doing.
All three veterans say the American flag and the memories of September 11, 2001 should serve as reminders for all Americans.
I think it meant maybe a little bit more now that you were a part of it.
The flag, of course, is a symbol of our country, and so sure, anytime you see it, it does stir those feelings of patriotism and pride in being an American.
You know, we definitely understood our mission, we understood why we were there, and we just wanted to do our job and get back to our families.
In Tuscaloosa, Lindsay Price, WVUA News.
At one point over the past 10 years, Alabama had the highest number of deployed soldiers in the war on terror.
Well, as Americans prepare to mark the 10th anniversary of the September 11th terrorist attacks, officials warn of a credible but unconfirmed potential terror threat, possibly involving New York and Washington. Patricia Wu is in Lower Manhattan with a preview of Sunday's observances and the extra precautions being taken.
Americans will pause Sunday to mark the 10th anniversary of the worst terror attack ever on American soil. And in two cities targeted 10 years ago, there will be extra caution.
We learned from the raid on bin Laden's headquarters and going through all the material that al-Qaeda was still determined to attack around anniversaries.
On Thursday, federal officials cited a credible but unconfirmed potential terror threat with New York City and Washington as possible targets, and citizens were urged to stay alert.
Terrorism is a theater, and this is a stage. This is, right now, probably the world's biggest stage.
With a close eye on security from the Pentagon to Shanksville, Pennsylvania, to right here in Lower Manhattan, Sunday's 10th anniversary will be marked with reflection and remembrance. Victims' families who have gathered at Ground Zero each year will mark the opening of a 9/11 memorial this time.
As important as the memorial is, and I believe it could not be more important, we owe the victims much more than ceremonies and symbolism.
For Rudy Giuliani, New York City's mayor at the time of the attacks, the anniversary will be a reminder of how, in just one day, things changed forever.
The biggest fear that I have is that as we get to the 10th anniversary of September 11, people are going to believe it's over.
That was Patricia Wu reporting. The 9/11 Memorial will open to the public for the first time on Monday, September 12th in New York.
The entire nation was stunned by the terrorist attacks on 9/11, and now we are looking back at how people in West Alabama responded in the days after. The first weekend after the attacks, the SEC canceled all their college games. But the next Saturday, the Crimson Tide returned to Bryant-Denny Stadium, and fans found major changes in security when they arrived. Reporter Christy Guy filed this report back on September 19th, 2001.
When you head to the game this weekend, be ready for extra security. Authorities have set new ground rules like no backpacks or oversized purses. They say after last week's attacks, it's a must.
We just recommend that maybe the women bring a small clutch purse, and that's all. Otherwise, you may be sent back to your car if you bring too large of items, and of course you don't want to do that. You want to come and enjoy the game.
But some fans don't agree with the rules. UA student Sarah Herring says we have nothing to worry about in Tuscaloosa.
To waste the energy to come over to Alabama just to destroy Bryant-Denny, unless they're from Auburn, I don't think Bryant-Denny has to worry about any kind of attacks on it.
And other fans say you can't go to the game without some type of bag.
Usually when I go, I like to take a bag of snacks to the game so that I have something to eat at halftime. I don't have to pay that $3, $4 for the extra snacks at halftime. So personally, I think it's going to be a drag.
But not everyone is upset. Many people agree that we have to be careful.
A lot of people may think it's a prime target, and even though a lot of people don't think it is, and it is going to be a hassle to get in, I do think it's the best thing. It's going to make everybody feel safer.
Again, we have been looking back at the West Alabama response to the 9/11 attacks, and that report was filed on September 19th, 2001.
Governor Bentley has ordered all state flags to be at half-staff in honor of the 10th anniversary of 9/11. The governor and First Lady will publicly observe a moment of silence at noon on Sunday. Bentley has also joined Congress in asking citizens to stop all activity and observe a moment of silence at that time. The flags are ordered to remain at half-staff until sunset Sunday.
Moments of tragedy like the 9/11 attacks provide law enforcement with lessons for future disasters. Tuscaloosa County Sheriff Ted Sexton and several deputies responded to New York after the 9/11 attacks. They served as detectives, sifting through the more than 70 acres of debris looking for evidence. Deputies also helped out during the Hurricane Katrina crisis in Louisiana. Sexton says because of those experiences, his team was better prepared for the April 27th tornadoes.
The tornadoes of April 27th were the third Category 1 incident in the history of FEMA. Our ability to respond in large part was due to what we have learned from 9/11, Katrina, and our involvements of being able to respond to catastrophic events.
Meanwhile, Tuscaloosa City Schools has started a new journey of hope. It's part of the Save Our Children program to help children to deal with storm recovery. According to school officials, the curriculum is designed to help children learn to deal with emotions felt after a disaster. 14 people are participating in this special training to learn how to help children affected by the April 27th tornado. The program is paid for by a $172,000 grant from Save Our Children.